Which way, ally? In May of this year, the State Assembly agreed to ban the sale of the fins used to make shark fin soup by a vote of 62 to 8. Today, the state Senate held a crowded hearing with witnesses on both sides. One supporter was Michael Sutton. He is vice president of the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and he helped write the legislation. Michael Sutton, good to have you on our program.
Good afternoon.
Why is this important?
Well, it's important for a number of reasons. First of all, sharks are the lions and tigers of the sea. They're the top predators on which the entire ocean ecosystem depends, and they're in trouble. Scientists suggest that we kill something like 73 million sharks a year in global fisheries, most of them destined for the shark fin trade. So in order to protect our seafood supply, if for no other reason, we need to protect sharks from this killing worldwide.
Explain how this protects our seafood supply.
Well, when you take the top predators out of an ecosystem, you throw the entire ecosystem out of balance. We learned that a long time ago on land, where President Roosevelt, 100 years ago, stopped the bounty on mountain lions. There used to be a federal bounty on mountain lions. He stopped that 100 years ago because he realized that the ecosystem needs its top predators to function. And if you take them out, you throw the entire ecosystem out of balance.
How does finning work?
Well, the way shark finning works is that sharks are caught and the fins are cut off. The carcass is thrown. The rest of the shark is thrown back, still alive, to die in the ocean. And because it can't swim, of course, without its fins, it's a deplorable and horrible practice that has been outlawed in all U.S. waters. The trouble is, in international waters and overseas, the practice still goes on because the rest of the shark is worth very little compared to the fins. The fins, it's like elephant ivory. The rest of the elephant isn't worth much compared to the ivory. The same thing is true with sharks. The fins are what have the enormous value.
Michael Sutton, again, Vice President of the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Mike Eng is California State Assemblyman in the 49th District. He represents part of the San Gabriel Valley, including Alhambra and San Gabriel itself, and Monterey Park and El Monte. Assemblyman, good to have you on our program.
Thank you.
You voted against this bill.
Yes, I did. I agree. We need to stop the senseless killing of sharks, but this bill does not do a single thing to prevent the legalized killing of about 25,000 sharks caught in California waters. Not a single California shark is protected under this bill.
So, wouldn't, though, the ban on finning, as we've heard it described, apply to what happens in California waters?
Yes, it would, and that's the problem. In California, you are legally allowed to take a shark. In fact, we lose, as I said, about approximately 2,000 every month. But the shark meat is perfectly permitted to be sold and possessed. But 5 inches away, the shark fin under this bill would become a criminal act to possess or to sell it. And we think that's unfair.
Well, do people really kill the sharks for the meat or for the fins?
Well, that's under the bill, they couldn't use the fins, so it's a foregone conclusion that they would be able to use it. And that's exactly what our position is that there is no reason why they should ban the shark taking if they can use the shark meat but not the fin.
Michael Sutton, how do you respond to that?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I serve on the California Fish and Game Commission. We regulate our fisheries in California under very strict state laws. The federal government also regulates fisheries in U.S. waters under strict federal laws. The irony is we protect sharks pretty well in our own waters. We control fishing very carefully. We don't allow finning of sharks. But our markets, we import fins, thousands of pounds of fins through the ports of San Diego and Los Angeles every year for the fin trade. So we are contributing, we're allowing our markets to contribute to the killing of sharks out in international waters and in other countries, even though we protect sharks at home very well. So the reason the bill is important is that most sharks, they don't have much value except for their fins, so the carcasses are discarded. The fins are what is really involved here. That's where the value of the trade is, and that's what we need to stop. We need to stop our markets from contributing to the killing of sharks worldwide.
What do you say to that, Assemblyman Eng?
Well, there's no doubt that we need to do a better job of enforcing federal laws. This bill simply takes one state and says you can't possess the fins. This will drive the product underground. It will create a black market. Folks will simply go to another state to enjoy it. Finning is horrible. But if you're going to ban sharks finning from imports, which is where the main problem is, why not permit California businesses to process locally grown sharks that are going to be harvested and killed anyway, to satisfy a cultural icon which has been around for centuries?
Michael Sutton, back to you, Vice President of the Monterey Bay Aquarium. You helped to write this legislation. Does it make possession of a shark fin a crime?
It would, yes, once the bill takes effect. But like other states before us, the bill would create a one-year grace period during which time restaurants and others would be allowed to dispose of their existing stocks. That was enacted in Hawaii. And by the way, Washington and Oregon and the Pacific Island jurisdictions, Guam and so forth, have also followed suit. I suspect eventually we'll see the federal government step in and probably begin to consider an embargo on shark fins from overseas.
Isn't it true, though, as Mike Ng pointed out earlier, that the real market for this is China? It's not necessarily California.
Yes, I think that's correct. We think that Chinese markets in California are the second largest outside Asia, but it's true that eventually this campaign has to go to Asia and to China in particular, but there are encouraging signs there that Chinese legislators are watching what we do here in California carefully, and the tradition is changing in China as well. A friend of mine, a prominent actress in China, said to me the other day that wedding invitations now, a number of young people are putting on their wedding invitations, "We will not be serving shark fin soup out of concern for global shark populations." I think that's a very positive and very welcome cultural shift.
The experience in other states been what Mike Ng predicts here, namely that the whole industry will be driven underground?
Well, it seems unlikely that the industry will be driven underground, if only because this is not a product that you consume in private. This is something, as Mr. Lin suggests, that is used at banquets and weddings and ceremonial purposes like that. The Western equivalent of shark fin is caviar. And we have successfully found substitutes for caviar from endangered sturgeon in the Caspian Sea. We farm white sturgeon right here in California. It's a terrific alternative. I'm confident we can find alternatives, more sustainable alternatives to the products that go into shark fin soup.
Well, what about this question of people coming, needing to be educated, feeling that they are able, by serving shark fin soup, to demonstrate how far they've come in the world?
Well, I think we all need to be sensitive to the cultural issues and practices. This is an ethnic food. Everyone is aware of that. It is an issue that has divided the Chinese-American community. A great number of Chinese-American organizations and Asia-Pacific Islander organizations in California support this bill. Cultural traditions change over time. There's no doubt about that, and this is one that needs to, because it's all about the state of sharks around the world. The vast majority of California voters support this bill. We need to take action now and not wait too long. If we wait too long, there may not be many sharks left.